Greetings. Welcome to Eight Questions with. I'm Patrick, and tonight's guest is James Fury. Together, we're going to become the new APA. Of course, I'm a little bit heavier than Bradshaw, and James is a little bit better looking than Farouk, but we can get the job done. Uh, James, how are you, sir?
Doing great. How about you?
Good, good. Um, Man, I hear it is freezing ass cold in Michigan. Detroit, how's Detroit doing? Is it frozen?
Yeah, it's very frozen. I'm freezing my ass off right now as we speak.
Yeah, me too. Man, I had to break out the heavy artillery sweater, and I almost came up here with the cheetah wrapped around my neck, because that would have been really cool looking. But he might not like that too much. But yeah, it's cold. It's definitely cold.
Very cold.
Uh, hey Eric, welcome to the show. As you know James. I was introduced to James by Eric here, and caught their interview on Eric's channel. Great discussion.
So,
Now I got my crack at it, and you are my first professional athlete I've interviewed. I have never interviewed a professional athlete before, so thank you for the opportunity to sit down with you and talk a little bit of sports entertainment.
and thank you for the platform.
Uh, so to get this ball rolling here, I want to just ask you. I guess I have to start asking some of the basic questions here, but I want to wait a couple of minutes here to let people get in the chat. Um, I was actually really surprised, and I feel really blessed in a sense because when we just decided on this date, like I'm going like, man, I mean, you could get called at any minute to go wrestle. Has that happened? Does that happen a lot, James? Do you get like last minute promoters calling you and going like, James, you got to save my show. I need you down here, for a match. My main shot, my main eventer, he can't make it, man. I need someone of your skill level to come in here and save my ass. Do you get phone calls like that a lot?
So far, that hasn't happened yet. So far, every time I had a podcast, it just we was able to follow through with the episode and go from there.
Yeah, because I was thinking to me, it's like when we were talking and I was like, man, we're gonna get on a Saturday. I was nervous because I know that sometimes that does happen. Sometimes a promoter, which is not very much different from someone like me doing this kind of show or music. It's like your main guest backs out or something happens and you need to grab somebody to come in here and be entertainment. The entertainment. Get the show all the way through. Same thing with music. Our main band didn't show up. Well, we have to go out to get another band to take their place. Um, it's going to happen sometime in your career where that's going to happen, where someone's going to sit there and say, I need someone dependable, on time, and ready to kick ass. And they say, well, call James Fury because he's all that and more. Um, Promoters, tell me a little bit about how do you work with promoters? Like if I'm calling you, what do you expect from me to tell you other than the date and the time and the location? Is that a good place to be for an indie wrestler when a promoter calls you to save their ass? Is that a good place to be?
Uh,
Or
I,
is
I
it,
I really don't know because I've never been in that position. Um, Yeah, I really don't. I've never been in that position, so I can't really like speak on that. But what I will say is like whenever I'm in contact with a promoter or whatnot, like really it's just a typical like where's the location? I need to know how long the drive is going to be, how long the flight, you know what I mean, it's going to be. What am I in for? I like to know what to expect before I even get there. Like I like to look at the video footage of the promotion to look how professional they are, and if they're not that professional, hey, that's fine. I can work with it. It's still a platform at the end of the day, still exposure for me to get out and get more footage out there on my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. So like I just don't. As long as it's a solid enough place and good workers, they can have 5 fans every show, then I will be there.
um, yeah, I could, to me, because I'm thinking like a promoter, because I was a promoter for 10 years in music. So, I'm sort of thinking like one now. And I know whenever we booked an act or what have you, like I was seeing a pro wrestler. They drove all the way up to wrestle, and they got all the way up there and the doors were shut. Like there was nobody there. They said that, hey, you're part of this card. Come on up, and they drove all the way up there, and they found that there was nothing there. Um, the first thing I could think of right away was they should have got half, with a guarantee. They should have got half up front. Um, because to me, I think that's probably the one thing I'm curious more about for indie wrestling is how do the promoters treat you? Do they treat you with respect? I mean, in your opinion, are you pretty happy with the interactions that you've had with different promoters? And who was your first one? Who was your first? Or who was your first match?
My first match. Shit, damn, that's a tough one. I don't think I really like. I know my first few matches for sure, but my very first match, definitely in training. Definitely, my first match was definitely in training. I would probably say my very first match, even though it was in training, was like one of the other guys that was in training with me as well. Probably between
Uh,
Greg, who's also been doing it for 3 years, the same amount of time, because we graduated at the same amount of time, or AOD and Angel of Death, or Mutir, who's who didn't go on to pursue profession. He went through the class, but he went somewhere else. Don't know, but
mm,
other than that, though, I have had some bad experiences with promoters and some really, really great experiences with promoters. And there's some good ones out there. There's some bad ones out there, and you won't know until you go out there and experience it for yourself. And after that experience, you know how to go about certain promoters or just certain situations going forward. If that makes any sense, like you know what questions to ask. Because before, I
right.
didn't know questions to ask. I didn't know what to look out for. Now I know certain things what to look out for, red flags and questions to ask and stuff. Just ask more questions. The more questions you ask, the better, and the more you know. Just to be on the safe side.
Now, because there's so many different promotions out there, do you do you talk among your peers? I mean, like which ones are on the up and up, which ones are going to, are good places to go to, take care of you as far as money and a dinner table or what have you, good locker rooms, hot showers. These are all important things that uh, any athlete at any level should expect to have. Um, do you talk among your peers and like, hey, who's on the up and up, and who are those red flags to avoid?
Yeah,
Um,
we all
ah,
wrestler, every pro wrestler had those conversations. I feel like, yeah, everybody has those conversations. Definitely want to warn other people like this guy doesn't pay, or like some people are okay with working for free. I'll work a show just because due to the fact that like I just want the content, bro. If this is I know this is like so random, but like my my thing is if it's not recorded, it didn't happen. And if it's not recorded, it becomes a memory. Let's say I wrestled Jeff Hardy, right? A random indie show, right? But it wasn't recorded, and maybe I got one picture to prove that it actually happened. It didn't happen. It's just a memory. You need to have actual video footage that it happened. I had a match a couple months ago in Pennsylvania where it was like the most over I've gotten as a babyface, and I'm mad as hell because I don't have any video footage to show anybody of that because some promotions don't record the shows. And it's either because a budget thing or it can be many reasons or they just don't record the show. And that's completely fine. That's why some of us wrestlers who really, really give a fuck about our brand, we will go our way, put a tripod up and put our phone on there or and record or ask one of the boys to record the match. But that night, I don't know why, bro. Like I thought somebody was already recording, and then now I'm just looking back like, damn, I would never ever see that match because it's nowhere to be found and nowhere recorded that shit. So
um, that sucks. Let me roll to the chat here. And Eric is saying that we're going to do a kick-ass job. I hope we're doing it already. And he also says, "Hey Tony, how are you? Glad you're here. Even if you have to work for free, you can still get the exposure. Right place, right time could lead to a great future booking." That's right. You just never know. Um, as far as the camera thing go, I would, you know, maybe yeah, that's something that's frustrating too, because I know sometimes for music, sometimes someone will hire somebody out from the outside, say, can you come in and film our band while we're playing? So they would give them like 20-25 bucks and maybe a t-shirt or what have you. um but I guess that's sort of something that you don't expect to have to do. You sort of expect that every organization would definitely want to film their show.
Yeah,
It sort of surprises me that that's not mandatory. Like they do it anyway, just because it's promoting them as well as it is you.
yeah,
You
that
know,
is.
you want to videotape that and show off future wrestlers saying, "Hey, we got our shit together. Take a look at this match right here." And there's someone who's not new, someone who's new to the territory comes in there and says, "Wow, that's pretty awesome. I want to get some of that action." And then they contact the promoter. But you're right. I mean, it hurts both you and the promoter.
Yeah, like the content that I get from these shows, like they go straight to my social media, and my social media is a way for me to get also paid. Like I don't get paid yet through social media, but that's the plan. The more views I can get from my content, the more chances I have of getting paid from this said content. You know what I mean? Like I want the whole world to see the James Fury brand, so I'm gonna make sure I'm posting every single day, even when I don't want to fucking post, because
Right.
that's game. The new name of the game is social media. So
Oh,
I
it is.
want to make it someday. I want to make a living out of this, or just wherever the chips may fall, bro. Like whether it's this or something else, I just want to make a living out of something and just make it happen. I want people to know who I am, and to make people know who you are. You got to post every single day, even though you don't want to. So
That's a really good point. In fact, it can apply to us here, us YouTubers, such as the ones in the chat. Eric and Tony are here, and that is, we try to do that too. It's all about promoting oneself. We're trying to get out there. We're trying to put out content. We're trying to get, trying to get us noticed. So in a sense, it's the same thing. But you have a really cool product to push. I mean, that's probably the difference between you and me. It's like you have something fans want to see, and I can guarantee you head on over to your YouTube channel, which I posted on top of the chat. So if you want to see James's YouTube channel and you want to sub to him, by all means, please hit the link above there, and I have it also in the description box down below. So hit him up. He's got about 1,200 subs. I know we can get him a few more to the people who are hearing
I
my
also
voice.
I also have a new YouTube channel. I'm not really active on that one. I made a new one, so like
Okay,
whenever you get a chance, put the link on that for a new one. It's
sure,
just
we could do that.
James Fury.
Let's see. Eric say James is good at using social media for self promotion. It's needed for sure in the independent scene. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Um, I mean, I joined I joined a couple of wrestling groups because I was going to interview a different professional wrestler, but that went belly up. But I was into the groups to help promote it, and I was impressed by the fans. They were just, like you and I were talking before we came on here. The fans are just passionate as hell. They love it. Wrestling fans love wrestling of any kind, whether it be indies, majors, luchadors, death matches, which is new to me. Those guys are crazy as hell. I just gotta say that, man. They're crazy as hell. I I what kind of wrestling matches did you attend before you started to become a wrestler? What was the wrestling? What made you decide to become a pro wrestler? Was there any one person, a teacher, organization, different styles? What got you into professional wrestling?
The crazy part is it actually wasn't a wrestling show. Um, when I forgot how old I was, but when I was very young, I just saw on my box TV in 2012. I know it's 2012 because it was Great Khali versus Randy Orton, the most random ass match ever, right? I saw that and I just enjoyed it. Like I just enjoyed it. I didn't know from that point forward, at that point that I wanted to be a wrestler, but I just enjoyed what I was watching, and I kept watching it. And then all I remember from 2014 to 2013, I watched it even more. The Dale Bryan run, Randy Orton when he was a double champ and everything. When Dale Bryan beat John Cena, like I remember those like very vividly because I was watching all the time, every episode. But once I did backyard wrestling for a long period of time, towards the tail end of my backyard run, because I was doing that for a few years while I was still young, I was like, wait a minute, why not try it? Why not try it and stuff? And I remember going down to North Carolina for a crash course training. And I'm not gonna lie, when I did that, I second guessed this shit. I'm just like, I don't know. It was so much complicated things. I was like, wait, we gotta run the ropes this way. Oh, we gotta take a bump this way. Like the bumps wasn't the issue. It's just like so much like random complicated shit down. Like, but I was just overcomplicating it. And then once I thought about it some more, I'm just like, you know what, bro? Like I've been thinking about this shit for the longest. I've been doing the backyard shit for the longest. Like I might as well do this shit. So I found out that there was a wrestling school near my crib, and that was the House of Ring of Honor's Truth Martini. And once I went through that training, the rest was history for real. And uh, at first, I'm not gonna lie, like I hated this shit at first because of my early experiences, but
Right.
now I'm at peace. I'm happy. I'm getting more bookings than ever. I'm about to go on a UK tour in 2026, and just now that I'm super fucking happy, I'm also enjoying this shit more than I ever did. Because I feel like I'm gonna end it here, but I feel like the reason why I'm so happy now is because when I first started, I was so set on like, oh, next year I'm gonna get signed. Oh, next year I'm gonna blow up and be somewhere else. When you set goals like that, it's kind of like unrealistic because when it doesn't happen, now what? You know what I mean? It's not down
Right.
yourself, second guessing yourself. It's just being realistic, and I'm just learning more to just enjoy the journey, bro. I just want to enjoy the journey and just not be miserable and not let anybody get in between my peace, bro. For real, for real. So, like I said, right now I'm at my happiest and I'm enjoying everything, every fan interaction, this platform that you're giving me right now. I'm enjoying it all, bro.
That is such a it's actually very inspiring. If any young talent would come across this interview and they hear that, I think it's encouraging that you come across as that 3 years in the business and your fire burns brighter. And because I'm sure the first few times over a wrestling camp, I'm sure the conditioning was must have just sucked. Like bounce off the ropes 20 times. Bounce across. You got to do it. And then do a fall, and then get up and do another. The conditioning must have just been like, oh shit. But but once you started catching that breath, and all of a sudden you hit the weights, and I'm sure you could just tell. I'm sure you could tell, especially your trainers, that your style was. You were defining your style, and how, that's a good question too. It's like, how did you define your style? What kind of styles are out there for wrestlers?
I
Like, I
love
know there's the big bruisers. There's also the fast, the smaller guys like Rob Van Dam, Michigan guy, by the way. Rob Van Dam. How did you decide to, what style you want to wrestle?
You have phenomenal questions, by the way. Love them. But as far as style, bro, like I'm gonna be completely honest. When I first started, like I really thought that watching everybody wrestle in the area that I had to wrestle a specific style to even be noticed. I thought that I had to like do all these flips, dives, and wrestle these like 5-star banger matches and like all this great technical wrestling. And like I thought I had to be that way. And like me chaining around and I'm doing this stuff, I'm just like, I don't I just don't feel it, bro. Like I feel like that's not meant for me. I feel like there's a different style out there meant. And that's when it's like I started looking more into Kane and like Undertaker, guys like that. And I'm just like, with the character that I'm trying to portray, it's more like a brawler. I like to just beat ass, bro. I'm not trying to tangled in, like wrestle with you. I'm not trying to wrestle. I just want to beat your ass. Just pin you 1, 2, 3. That's my job. That's James Fury for you, That's
Yeah, it's like they call them. I guess they call that they have high flyers, they have technical wrestlers. They're concentrate on the holds, and then you have the big bruisers like Mark and Glenn, Undertaker, Kane. Um, God, though, you gotta admit though, for such a big man, Mark Caraway was like a ballet dancer out there. Um, Watching him climb on the ropes, they call it old school. I just could never get it. Like, how the hell do you even do that? I mean, because I know your balance is being kept by your partner, but you saw some of the people that were wrestling with him, and they weren't capable of holding a 320-pound man up. Um, but he was so light on his feet. That's you see him fall, you see him bounce back up on his feet. You sit there and go like, man, I could do that. I mean, watching somebody like that, I think it would be inspiring to sit there and say, I could do that
yeah.
because I want to learn how to do that. So I mean, so back to training school. How many weeks did you have to train before you got your first match? And, I know it was in house, but how many weeks did you actually wrestle? Learn the ropes, like how to fall. I mean, look, I know people say, yeah, you got to practice that, but that stuff looks like it hurts. So how do you go past the pain level? Like I was watching that one match against Ren. I mean, he chopped you across the chest. I could feel that shit here. I'm going like this, like, damn, that hurts. So how do they teach you to take a hit like that and to keep focused on the match?
Like I feel like that's something that like really can't be like taught. It's just like you just take it multiple times and just build that high resistance. I don't think that's the word I'm looking for. Pain tolerance. That high pain tolerance, and just like it's like somebody keep chopping me. It's just like that's not something you just teach. You just keep doing it, and then at some point you'll get used to it. Now I hate fucking chops. I fucking hate them to death. I'm being honest. I hate that. Um,
I don't blame you.
Guys be like they'll put full force, like everything, their whole momentum power into that shit, like damn near like trying to hurt you damn near. I'm just like, bro, like, do you understand this is a fucking work? Like, bro,
Right.
I mean, bro. But as far as my first batch and everything, so I'm not gonna count my training matches. I'm not gonna count that. But I remember, if you know who Soul Taker is, I remember he came in. This is we graduate in 12 weeks. That's the course. After 12 weeks, you're grad. If they think that you're ready, then you go on to have matches, and now you're a professional wrestler. If you're not ready, then you're going back to training and da 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 da. Right. So Taker came in about like maybe like week 8, week 9, maybe. We're like almost done at this point, and he's scouting out talent. At the time, he was booking this company called SCW in Michigan, and they needed some extra bodies. And my trainer, we got the AOK from my trainer, and we wrestled a battle royal that day and a handicap match where it was me and AOD versus Superman Onyx. It was just a simple squash match, and at that time, I was also 165 pounds. I was a very small guy.
Oh
Now
my God.
I'm 230 now. I'm 230 pounds now. At the crazy part about that is when I first started, I thought I was big. I thought I was big and shit. And then once I got into pro wrestling, I'm looking at all these other guys and like I feel fucking small as fuck because I was small as fuck, and that was the reality of things. And everybody would just get telling me, get bigger, get bigger. You gotta get size and stuff
Right.
like that. I started eating more. I went on this fucking random ass Qdoba diet, eating burritos every day. And not the best, but I did that shit and I put in the fucking work and now I'm 230 pounds. And so on, So just I'm happy with that. And being that small, I was definitely getting thrown around a lot more.
Mm.
Being 230 pounds now, I get thrown
Not
around
so much. No one's throwing you around now. That's for sure.
They are still, but not as much.
Now, I thought that the chops, because I'm watching I'm thinking about the chops. I thought there was a way that they hit you like with the hand. I thought there was a way that they hit you that would produce the sound of the slap without him hitting you like six ways to Sunday. You know, like they wouldn't hit you like barehanded. They would cup their hand and
Yeah,
then hit,
sure.
and that would make the sound that like, oh my god. But then I saw some where they hit you from the backhand, and I'm going like, man, that just doesn't like. I mean, to me, it's like if someone hits me really hard, I think I'm locking them up and going like, can you dial that down to like a 7, because and keep it down to 2, because that you're right, and it's got to be hard to maintain, because you're getting slapped like that. Has it ever happened? Or have you ever seen or been in a match where someone has put one too many on there, and the other guy has gotten, he gets a little, he all of a sudden he gets mad. He literally gets mad because he
Right.
just got hit with 5 chops instead of 3. Um, has that happened to you? And how do you maintain your temperament in the match?
So like for me personally, I've never really been in that predict. I've been in a predicament where somebody chopped me like so many fucking times, and I'm just like throwing a flag. But I'm not the type to like lose my cool in a match or something like that. Like me personally, I feel like that just me. I'm not the type to do that. I'm a very patient person, depending on what it is. To be honest with you, because I can be quite impatient when like on some like random shit. But with wrestling, I'm quite patient and just that's just something I'll talk to the person behind the scenes about. Not like I'll tell them like, hey, take it easy in the match, but like I'm not gonna be like, oh, what the fuck is your problem? You know, I'm not about. It's just why that you know how much energy that requires for me to be like, hey, what the fuck is your problem? Like, bro, like I'm at peace, bro, and I'm gonna keep it at that, bro. Nobody, I mean nobody, is gonna interrupt my peace of mind.
Right. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, like, let's just say that let's say someone did chop you one too many times. So you definitely like the guy because the guy's doing a good match with you, and he, maybe he's feeling the crowd a little bit, because you're a professional athlete, you feed off the crowd, right? It does happen, right? Can we agree that sometimes during a match the crowd could get amped up, like that crowd that I watched you in your match for that crowd was fire.
Yeah, they were.
Maybe there might have been 80 or 100 people in there, but they were fire. They really liked you and your opponent Ren. You were the heel. They came up there and got on you as a heel. Passionate. So sometimes I think sometimes adrenaline can take over.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So
Yes.
let's just say they gave you that one slap too much. So is it afterwards that you go to the locker room and sit there and say, "Listen, Joe, hey, just let you know, man, I love the energy out there. Just it's not that you can't take the shot, but you're not getting paid to take that kind of those many shots. Just watch just be careful how you approach that kind of move in the future. Do other wrestlers take advice from their peers? Well, I mean, if I came up to you and said, hey, when you did your tombstone, you could improve on it by doing this. Are you accepting and open minded enough to take advice and give advice to a younger wrestler?
I'm open to anything, brother. I'm open to any advice that comes my way. It doesn't matter how much younger the person is. It can be somebody that just literally started. You can learn anything from anybody, no matter how old they are. You can meet a 12-year-old that's the next Dr. Einstein. Literally, there's 12-year-olds that is that damn smart that you can learn everything from, right? You know what I mean? So
Right.
like, somebody be like, "Oh, I'm not taking advice from you, dude. You know how stupid that fucking sounds." You know what I mean? So me personally, I'm not speaking for everybody else, but me personally, I'm open. I'm open minded, and I don't have a clouded brain or clouded judgment. So as far as giving advice to other people, If somebody asks me, I will. If they don't, maybe I will, maybe I won't. It just depends. You know, sometimes I could be looked down upon when like somebody 3 years or less maybe trying to give some advice. You know, they could be looked at as like, oh, you're trying to be a vet, but in reality, you're not. Well, I'm not. You know what I mean? It's just if somebody asks me for my opinion, which I get asked my opinion a lot, then I'm going to give them my fucking opinion. I'm going to give them advice. You know,
Yeah.
I know more about social media than most guys, you know. So like most guys are asking me, how can I get better about this? Or some guys are asking me about how can I get better about my promos because I'm a promo guy. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I'm the best promo guy. You know, I cut promos all the fucking time. And they ask me, hey, what can I do to improve on this promo? And I'm like, tell them, hey, if you do this with your face, they get better on your facial expressions, and people will believe what you're saying more. Some people have the words, but they don't have the believability to back it up. You know, and they have
Right.
words, but if you don't have the right facial expressions and like believability behind to back it up, then nobody's gonna believe what the fuck you're saying. Like, yeah, I can be telling you, I can be telling you some crazy shit, and like if you see the vein, so hold up, pause. If you look at the Macho Man's promo, right? You be seeing
Yeah.
the coming out his fucking neck, bro. You can see the
Yeah.
ability,
Oh, the veins. Yeah. He was always, he really was.
see how much he believes what he's saying through his eyes and the way he's saying it. You know, so just stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, God. We're talking a little bit about, we're talking a little bit about mic skills. Let me bounce over to the chat real quick and say hi to our good friend Hobbs Horror, and Lady Valerie is also in. Thank you guys for coming out. And uh, and Hobbs saying it's nice to see someone interview wrestlers. This is so good. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I definitely, I got the fever from watching some interviews over at Eric's channel. Yeah, he interviewed some of those crazy death matchers. Those guys are crazy. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before, but those guys are crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's we talked a little bit about the mic skills. Like now we were talking about inside the ring, the physical stuff, the technical stuff. But obviously, like you and I were both talking before we went on, and we're sitting there saying that the most important thing a wrestler has to have is mic skills. I
Yep.
mean, you could be cut like Mr. Universe or Lou Ferrigno or whoever, but if you can't operate the mic, you're only your ceiling is here. You can only go to here. But with a good mic skills, I mean, there's a lot of good wrestlers out there that aren't the biggest, they aren't the strongest. Maybe they don't have the best in work in ring work. But good lord, put them on the mic and you'll sell tickets. And so how was that approached to you at training school? Was that like was that the is that was it like did it break down the class break down into wrestling and then they take you over there and have you work on mic skills?
So for mic skills, there was a thing. So we had this student championship of the week thing where like whoever was the most improved by the end of the week, they would win the championship. My first week, I won the championship. Which I totally didn't think I was gonna fucking win that shit. So much doubt, and looking at everybody around me, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna win that shit. But everybody saw how much I believed in everything that I was doing in there. So that's why I feel like I won the first week. Um, Promos, they would have promo classes where we just go in the middle of the ring. Sometimes they'll give us a topic to talk about, and we'll just cut a promo on said topic. Or sometimes you introduce yourself to everybody. There was a time where all the boys, all of these trained wrestlers are surrounding the ring, and I'm cutting my promo. And I remember when I first did it, I was trying so hard to be a character instead of just being the character. There's a big difference in becoming the character, embodying the character instead of just cosplay and you're forcing it. You know what I mean? And I was trying to force that character, and that came off as just like unauthentic. But and Jimmy Jacobs told me that, and afterwards, he was like, tell me something real, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, and then I just stopped thinking for a second. I just started talking about my personal life, all the demons that I faced to get to that point, all the people that doubted me, all of my haters and everything, just all the crazy shit that I had to go through just to even get to that moment right there in front of Jimmy Jacobs, in front of all the boys that surrounded the ring, and like, just watching me cut this fucking promo. I cut that promo, I cried, shed a couple tears, and I got a round of applause from everybody. And I think that's the night I won again, the title again. Maybe, I think. I don't remember that part. But yeah, like I got better at promos from that night because, like I said, before that, I just kept trying to force the character instead of just being the character. Just you don't need, if you have a character, stop forcing the shit. Just be it. Think about this is the best example I'm going to make right now. Heath Ledger, instead of just being okay, I'm the Joker. Okay, I'm playing the Joker, right? No, he embodied the character. He became Joker. You see what I mean? So
Yeah. I guess my skills, I mean, we could almost equate it to, because I talk to a lot of actors on here, a lot of actors and actresses, and and we talk about how they get prepared for a scene or what have you. I guess in a sense, it's sort of like that too. I mean, like for wrestling, for a wrestler is to, to me, what makes it really hard to me, what's challenging is like, especially for indies, is think about this. 1 week you're the heel. You go out there and you fight the baby face. 2 weeks later, you're the baby face. So now you got to come up there with all these different mic skills, all these different personas, and sell tickets to sell the match. Not easy to do. Not easy to do. So do you practice when you're not, like, if you're home by yourself? Do you practice both sides of the coin? I mean, do you do like a half hour of mic work as a heel, then a half hour of mic work as a baby face?
so for that, when I first started, I was trying to figure out. Well, I kind of already had it figured out, but I was thinking of ways. How can James Fury be a babyface and a heel? I already knew I can be a heel. The off rip, I already knew. Okay, yeah, I can cut a heel promo no problem because I can shit, But a babyface, when I was first trying to cut babyface promos, like it just sounded forced. It wasn't authentic for me. I'm just like I'm forcing trying to be a good guy. Like what the fuck is this shit, But over time, with more and more practice, just like putting myself out there and doing more babyface work. I have my own promotion, Ring of Champions here in ROC, Royal Oak, Michigan, and I made myself a babyface for my own federation because I want to get better as a babyface. I want to get better at cutting babyface promos. I want to get better at doing babyface matches in the ring because I'm so used to doing heel shit. I do heel work almost everywhere I go, and I love it. I love heel. My recent heel match, I walked in a heel and I walked out a fucking face because
Right.
I'm starting to embrace the fans and all of the people and myself more than I ever did before. So when it comes to that difference when filming a babyface promo and a heel promo, in reality, I'm the same dude. There is really, if you really look at both of my promos as a face and a heel, there's really no difference. And if you can do both, think about Stone Cold. What's the difference between a heel Stone Cold promo and a babyface Stone Cold promo? What?
A heel Steve Austin. I can tell you the face Steve Austin has two cats on his ranch. The heel Steve Austin, he doesn't have the cats. I don't know if he watches Instagram or not, but he's got two barn cats that he talks about, and fans fucking ate that shit up, James. I'm telling you, when he got the first cat, he was sitting there going like, this is little macho or something like that, and oh my lord. I'm telling you, his whole promotion, his whole Instagram game changed that day. It went from there's a lot of fans out there talking to him, but once he said he had a damn cat and he had a barn cat, bam, it doubled. I'm not kidding. It just blew the hell up. So I guess that could come into sort of like a gimmick later, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Um, but yeah, I could, and you said you have your own federation, so that's good to know, because now we can actually, because you are a part-time promoter then, right? I mean, you are a promoter then.
Yes, I'm a promoter slash booker. I booked the whole damn show.
Oh, oh, well, we're gonna have some fun now. So Booker to Booker, though I've been out of it for a while. So let's go back to when you decided to form your own federation. Um, what was the motivation behind it? Was it solely to improve your mic skills, or did you just want to give other people an opportunity like the one you were given or earned?
So it was a lot of reasons. One of the biggest, and this couldn't have all have been done without my partner Chaz. Chaz is he plays a big role in everything behind the scenes. My job, I literally just help promote and book the whole show. But as far as the vision behind our federation is, I wanted to create a promotion for all of the, not even just for them, but this is the main vision for talent that's just like underappreciated, underrated,
Hmm.
not used as often as they should. There's a lot of talented guys in Michigan and all around the world that are not getting used that frequently at their local federations or just in general. People that need work, and
Yeah.
how can they get any better if they're not really, working that often? You know what I mean? And so guys like that and the young guys, I want to give them a shot. I wanna throw them in there with the Sharks. I want to make them work guys that are way better than them. I want to have them work guys from all around the world, Chicago, Pennsylvania, Alabama, New York, everywhere. That's the kind of promotion that's the vision for ROC. Like literally in our main event for January 11th is Jimmy Jacobs versus Aaron Ashura. Aaron Ashura's been doing this damn near the same amount of time as me. 3 years. I'm pretty sure he's about to come up on his 3 years soon, and he's about to go up against Jimmy Jacobs. You know that? You see what I mean? This is a young talent versus you don't usually get matches like that. You can literally make your own names in your promotion. You can build your own stars in your own promotion, and this is just the start of that. Blue collar, Grandmaster
Yeah.
Z, Joseph Antonio Grib. These are guys on my roster that are young, ambitious, hungry. They got the drive, they got the motivation, the dedication. They're ready, they're willing. So that's my that's what drives me for ROC. And on top of that, like I said, that's not the only thing. I was also a booker in backyard wrestling for my own federation, so it kind of all tied together. You know what I mean? Like I just always had a passion for booking shit. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm
Me too.
also
Me too.
guy to give myself all the opportunities. Hence why you see Aaron Ashore versus Jimmy Jacobs in the main event of the show. So just like I said, I'm about giving everybody opportunities, giving everybody a plate and food to eat, bro. We all gotta
Yeah.
eat. We're all a giant team, bro. Nobody is against nobody, and nobody is above anybody. We're all the same. We're human.
See now. Now we can't go into it because what we talked about beforehand. But this is the sort of thing I like hearing about. I know there's an other side of the coin to it, but I'm gonna go with you and just keep it positive because I like it. I like it a lot. Let me go over to here and ask someone ask some questions here. From Hobbs. Did you ever work with the following wrestlers? Dre Jacobs, Justin Devan, or Jake Christ? Those are all names I don't know any of the names. So
Can you say the names again?
yeah. Dre Jacobs, Justin Dream, it's a Dream, yeah, Justin Dream or Jake Christ.
I don't think I worked with any of those guys, but I definitely met a few. Like Jake Chris, I definitely met him.
Um, are those Ohio-based wrestlers, Hobbs? How many how in your federations in Royal Oak, um how's the reception in Royal Oak? That's a nice, really nice neighborhood. Did they embrace you? Did they sit there and say hell yeah? Because it takes a little bit something to put together a organization like that. Was the city did the city help you out when you came to them and said, hey, I want to do wrestling here in Royal Oak. I got a good product here. And did the city sit there and say, hell yeah, let's make this happen?
It was more easier than you thought. Just
Hmm.
get a venue and host wrestling in it. Like that's it. There's all
Yeah.
like there's all like a bunch of other things on how to get to that point as well. With like papers and all the other extra shit and stuff. But like for the most part, just get a venue, wrestling ring, the extra shit, and then poof, there you go. There you go. The fans, they're starting to really come around. Before Royal Oak, we were in Hamtramck. Um, After that, we had some technical difficulties with the venue, so we had to switch venues and go to Royal Oak, which Royal Oak has been like the best. Like it's beautiful
Yeah.
over here. The fans are great and stuff, and just we look forward to just staying down there and making that the ROC home.
That is cool. That is cool. That's actually a really good that's a really good place to be. Back in the day before the clubs went away, because you're right next to Ferndale. Ferndale and Royal Oak were very much entertainment destinations. People will go down there to watch bands, bowl, what have you. It was a really good. It's a really good area to do wrestling. I would think that's. I mean, when you say Royal Oak, and we're like, that's a good place to be. Uh, so as a promoter, so now let's talk a little bit about building a card, as a promoter. Now you have to build a card. So walk us through what exactly, how do you build a card? Let's say you got 5 matches. So how do you build it?
So I have a lot of help backstage. I have guys in certain roles that like in roles designed to help me with certain stuff like helping me organize the card and everything. Like I book the matches, but I'd be needed to help or like okay, what number do we put this at? My referee Sean Porter, backstage guy Jeremiah, he helps out with that and stuff, and a couple other guys be helping out as well with that, and it's great. Just like I said, I book the matches. Like for example, I just booked Isaiah Prince versus Soul Taker, and the graphic just dropped today. And I don't know at what point in the show I'm gonna put that on the card, but we're gonna find out when we get there or something like that. I'm gonna have this figured out beforehand. But just like I said, I book the matches and somebody organizes it on the card and put it in areas where it makes sense. If that makes sense, what I'm saying.
Right. I would, yeah, because I know a lot of. Let me bounce over here. Let's see. James would work well with Jake Christ. So Eric has actually heard of Jake Christ, and he could probably tell you more about him. That's cool. You guys know these all these independent wrestlers. That's really cool. And greetings, Night Fright Talk Show. Welcome in, welcome in. If you have any questions about pro wrestling, feel free to drop them, and we'll take them one by one. That's great. See, I don't know any of these guys, and all of a sudden these guys are coming in dropping some cool names. So it's a good education for me too. Um, so yeah, building the car. So you definitely got to. I bet you have a photographer, don't you, or videographer on your
We
every
record
for every match.
show from top to bottom, man. Ain't no way we gotta go a show without any videographers. Because I know how it feels to not have my shit recorded, bro. So like
Right,
I hate the feeling. So at ROC, we record every single thing where we're doing storylines, compelling storylines, and just not just match. It's not just just after a while, it's just the same damn thing. You gotta give them something different.
right.
You gotta
So
give
so
them want to come back. They'll come back for wrestling. Don't get me wrong, but like you have a compelling storyline, you got them just like that. You know, as long as it's good and it makes sense. You know,
Right.
nobody's perfect and shit. I'm still working on shit, but just make compelling fucking storylines.
Now I've heard, some of the bigger places they'll sit there and say they hire writers. So how does a write? What does a writer do in professional wrestling? What do they look for? I mean, did they come to you and sit there and say that we want Joe Bananas to get over against against
Uh,
our heel? So
per
do you write that out about, do you write the moves out like, okay, at the 10-minute mark, Jake's gonna turn around and hit him with a body slam? Do you write that out? And then or right afterwards he's gonna do a face promo, and then we'll have a run in. I mean, do you write all that out, or is it more just on the fly?
It's more on the fly for real. I don't write none of that shit out. Like I might. So what I write down is bullet points. I go off of bullet points, and then day of the show,
Makes sense.
I give everybody those bullet points. Like, hey, I want you at this point. I want you after the promo when he turns around, hit him in the dick or some shit. You know, some heel stuff. And literally, I give everybody bullet points of what I want out of them.
Did you say hit him? Did you just say hit him in the dick? That would be awesome. Yeah, turn around and kick him in the sack, and then that's cool as hell. And do you give your wrestlers input on what they want to do? Because I don't mind putting over somebody, but I don't want to get squashed necessarily doing it. And I think for a smaller organization, I don't squash matches are not. You don't do squash matches, do you?
I mean, I would call it enhancement matches. Enhancement matches. No, it's a thing and everything. You got to have your enhancement matches. It's kind of like a trial match in a way. It's an enhancement match.
Yeah.
Oh, it can be like a match, like the pre-show enhancement match. Like just a trial match pretty much to see how they work, see how the wrestlers work,
Cool.
and see what they can do. Just to see what they can do. Enhance
Yeah,
keyword.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because you sit there and say, "Listen, we want to see what you can do, what your physical abilities are, and honestly, basically, is can you take direction? Because that's because everybody has pride, to go out there and say, I want you to go out there and in a minute, I want you to get squashed. Um, do you ever tell them that, like if it works out, the next match that won't happen to them? I mean, you sit there and say, hey, just do the job tonight, and then the next card we'll see about getting you. Maybe you won't win the next match, but at least the other guy will know he's been in a fight.
Just whatever happened, we just roll with the punches, bro. Just roll with the punches.
Now, how many times? Now, how many? Because one of my favorite things in a wrestling match is a run in. Do you ever run in on your own card, like, you're in the back, all of a sudden maybe the crowd's a little bit light, maybe it's a little bit, maybe indifferent, and you need some jazz to pick it up. Do you find yourself jumping up there and running down there for a run in to energize the crowd back up?
I've done for my last two shows that we done. I personally done two run-ins where like it was for one was for a segment and it got pretty over. It got the reaction that I wanted. The second one, I did an interference mid-match and cost my rival his match, and put uh put Grandmaster Z over him 1, 2, 3. That was a match. So that's gonna build to me versus H5, which is the guy that he pinned. So like it just further continues the story.
I had a feeling about that. I love it. I love the answer. I love the answer. I think it's cool to be able to run in there and cause shit up. Now there are a couple of things that we should talk about too. Uh, One is like, you're going to hear this a lot, but let's talk about injuries because pro wrestling is not. I remember when the WWF had their WrestleMania with their wrestlers versus pro football players, and I remember Russ Francis, he used to play tight end for the New England Patriots, and he was part of it. And they asked him, what was it like to be in there? Because back then it was, wrestling is just wrestling, pro wrestling, wink, wink. And Russ Francis said those guys are fucking fast on their feet. You cannot believe how fast they really are. And those hits that they give, yeah, not so. It's like, some of those hits I would have liked to have my helmet. I would have liked to have my uniform on. Um, so injuries do happen in wrestling. What was the first injury that you ever saw, and what was your first injury?
I've never had an injury. To be honest with you, I mean, if you count this as an injury, I remember when I first started, if you know what a gut wrench suplex is, I was doing a gut wrench suplex, and the guy I was doing it to was like a little bit bigger, and on the way down, so like he was like hugging me on the way down, and doing that, I crushed my fingers, and that shit was not fun, bro. Like it wasn't his fault or anything like that. Like whenever you doing a gut wrench suplex, you're the one that's taking it. Like you never like hold on to the guy on the way down. You just like
Right.
take your bump. And him just holding on to me, that shit, I crushed my damn fingers. He didn't give me him holding on to me. I couldn't get my hand from underneath him. Like that shit was stuck. So that shit, I crushed that shit. And for a couple months, I had to wear like a little I don't know what you call those splinter things. I don't know what the fuck you call
Yeah,
them.
splint, a finger splint.
A
You
finger.
broke your finger. Yeah, you broke your fingers.
Yeah, I had to wear that shit for a couple months, and I even had to wrestle with that shit on a few times. But it got better over time. It was a pain in the ass going back to work. At that time, I was working at Kroger. It was such a pain in the ass lifting shit up with that, bro. It hurt so damn bad. But I'm glad that shit's over with. And just other than that, I've never been injured. Yeah, I've never been injured. I wrestle. I feel like I wrestle in a way where like that's least likely going to happen. I'm not trying to jinx that, but it's like the Miz, right? The Miz, he's only been injured like once or twice in his whole career. Why is that? Look at how,
Really?
what I mean. He wrestles very, very safe. I wrestle very, very safe, and I want to keep it that way.
Right. Right. Because you always got the let me go to the chat real quick. I think we got another question. James, do you ever plan on showing some of your federation shows on YouTube? That's a really good question.
So for my promotion, we actually already have some content on YouTube for ROC. If you search up ROC TV, it should pop up. So far we haven't posted in a minute, in like a couple months, because I'm the one that's like uploading the videos and everything. I'm running a lot of accounts. I'm running a lot of shit. So it's a little bit hard to keep with it, but I do have one full show completed. I'm about to have another show completed, and then I'm about to get caught up at that point because I have all the footage from these shows. I just haven't uploaded them all yet. Once I do that, then all of it will be up there very soon. Like it should be up there within the next few weeks, 2 months, 1 month. It can vary depending on my schedule. You know what I mean? It just
Right.
all depends on my schedule. But other than that, just search up ROC TV on YouTube, on Instagram. Search up ROC Wrestling MI on Facebook. You got to actually search up the name Ring of Champions, and then it'll pop up.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I was going to ask you that too. How do what do people how do people respond when they find out that you're a professional wrestler and a promoter? What's the reaction like when they find out?
Um, I usually don't tell people I'm a promoter. Like sometimes I purposely don't tell them that just so I can see their reaction when I do tell them. I want to see how they treat me before I tell them that, because sometimes it's always like a difference. Once I tell them that I'm a promoter, I'm booking shows and shit, they start acting so damn differently, bro. Like, it's
Yeah.
fucking crazy. Like all of a sudden now they're very interested in me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
They're interested in you and they're interested in the money.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because I know you can step me up with the money. It doesn't always work that way. Um, yeah, and the travel too, and like one of the things that as far as indies do, they're well known for this is they travel a lot. You mentioned several states that you've wrestled in. Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Pennsylvania, what have you. What's it like? How does a booking out of state generally work? Let's say I'm in Texas, and I call James Fury up, and I sit there and say, "Hey, I want you to come down for a card in Texas." Um, what are some of the questions that you're asking the promoter, other than my guarantee is $2,000, and I want half of it up front. And if you're not saying that, you should. Um, I'm just letting you know that from promoter to another. But what do you do when the promoter calls up and says, "Hey, I want you to come down and do a card with me down in Dallas"? So what does it go? What does it take to go and to do that? Uh, is it helpful if you know the opponent? I mean, that's the first thing you do is try to gather as much information as you're on your opponent that you can get. Because think that'd be one of the first questions I would ask is like, all right, who am I wrestling? I mean, I don't want to go out. I don't want a promoter to sit there and say, "Well, we'll figure that out when you get here." I don't want that. I want to know who I'm wrestling because I want to be able to watch their style. I want to be able to get videotape, whatever I can get on, so I can see what kind of style that he's wrestling. So because if you get somebody who's a little stiff, that's not really fun.
For me, it don't matter who I'm working. There's times where I show up and I still don't know who the fuck I'm working. Okay. It's not the end of the world. I feel like just at that point, you just got to roll with the punches, bro. Not all the time I'm watching my opponent's matches. I just like even when I know who my opponent is, sometimes like I still don't like go on YouTube and like look at their stuff. Like, and that's not like nothing against them. It's just like I'm so damn busy, bro. Like, so and then it's so easy to forget to do. So by the time I'm just like, bro, I'll see you at the show, bro. I'll see you at the show, and just show me your shit. Like, if there's something that they go over, that if there's a move that they do that's kind of complicated, we're gonna rehearse it and go from there. And it goes fucking Gucci and shit. But as far as the travel and everything, I'll be honest with you, bro. I hate being in the car for a long period of time. I hate
Yeah,
it. My ass cheeks hurt the most, and it's just fucking uncomfortable as fuck. My back hurts. It kills me, man. Like it just, I would rather just fly myself out there, bro. I'll to be honest with you, like I usually am in a carload with other wrestlers. Even with that, it's still a pain in the ass. Um,
yeah,
Getting home super fucking late, like that's cool, it's not the end of the world, but I just would rather fly out to most places, bro, because like if a flight to Connecticut, bro, is like an hour and like some change or some shit. A flight to Florida, I think might be like 2 hours, damn near 2 hours, almost 2 hours maybe. I'm not too sure, I might be wrong, but like I'd rather just take that route than driving 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, or even 8 hours. Like 6 hours is decent. It's okay. 7 hours, I still do it and stuff, but it sucks. But as far as information and everything, like I said, that's the last thing I'm asking is who I'm working. Sometimes if I'm super curious, maybe I might ask, depending on the rapport I have with said promoter. Um, just information, bro, like the location and what they can do. I'm very negotiable, what they can afford. I understand. I'm a promoter as well. I understand budgets. I understand
uh,
none of these promoters have all this money to be paying everybody thousands,
uh,
hundreds of dollars and shit. Nobody like that's just
no one's doing that. No one's doing that. No one's doing that on the indie level. I mean,
nobody, bro.
no,
We're for $50, $20, sometimes for free, 60, 70, 80, maybe $100. Like that's how much most of us are really making.
yeah.
So like we're literally grinding this shit out, bro. We're grinding this shit
You're
out.
doing it for you're doing it for the love of the sport. That's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for, you're doing it for all the right reasons. But I'm a very firm believer of getting what you're worth. I would not even think about asking someone of your level, yeah, come wrestle for me for $100. I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to keep my self respect knowing that. I look at maybe somebody brand new from the training, sure, but a seasoned pro as yourself, 3 years is very respectable. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't care if you agree with that or not. I think your 3 years is very respectable, and you deserve to get paid on your skill level. I know that's tough for some promoters. But then again, it's like if you can't afford someone of your level, don't bother him. Don't waste his time. Don't waste your time. Um, but yeah, that's a good answer. I like that. And that brings into the other thing we talked a little bit about before we went on air, and that is planning a match. Like, okay, you and I are gonna wrestle, so we have to get to the venue like 3 or 4 hours before before the venue opens up. Um, to practice, to see who's is your role already defined when you get called and you book the match? Is your role defined, or is it defined once you get there? Like, okay, yeah, we're gonna have you do a face turn. We're gonna have you do a heel turn. Is that all predetermined before you get to the match? And how much practice time do you get with your opponent before the doors open?
Sometimes there's no practice time. Sometimes like somebody might come in super fucking late and there's no practice time at all. Most of my shit, there's no practice time at all. We just call it in the back fast, remember it real fast, and then go from there. Some people call shit on the fly. Like you could call some shit on the fly, but like some people call the whole match on the fly where it's just like, all right, I see you out there, brother, and just to walk it, talk it, me personally, I just prefer calling my matches. And then like
What does calling your matches mean?
huh?
What does calling your match mean?
Calling my match means talking about the match.
Okay. Okay.
Rehearsing the match pretty much, but like with my words, not actually physical or whatnot. Just calling my match during my heat when I'm beating up somebody, like I don't call that. Like we just walk it, talk it when I'm doing the heat and just go from there. Maybe like a hope spot, kind of like walking and talking and stuff. But the main spot, shine, comeback, like the big moments, those are stuff like you're really calling for real. You don't have to call it from like every move, every spot. You don't have to. I can do that, but you don't have to. But like I said, there's been times when people come super late and we have a little time to call it and we make it work. And other than that, does that answer your question? Or I could have sworn.
Yeah, no, that answers it. That answers it. Um, I know you work today and you're tired. So, and we hit our mark. So I'm going to ask you one last question. Um, what's coming up for James Fury in 2026?
So man, 2026 is very personal. Every year is very personal to me because I have a big ass chip on my shoulder. I want to do more. I want to go out and explore the fucking world, and doing that while wrestling, you'll be able to explore so many different things, right? In 2026, I have a big UK tour in 2026. I'm gonna be out there for 2 weeks. So far, I'm already booked in 4 places in the UK, and I'm trying to get like at least 4 bookings a week or more while I'm down there. I just want to get as much work as possible while I'm down there. And so far, I'm booked in 4 places, which is a great fucking start. I'm not going to try to make that fucking 10 or some shit. Um, I plan to make another stop in Canada. I plan to make a stop in Nebraska. Nebraska is going to be another state that I'm going to knock off the list. I've wrestled in 10 different states and one country going on too. I plan to make that 15 states. Why not? Let's try it. I plan to debut at OVW. I'm really hoping I can make that happen in 2026. I'm really adamant about that. And I really, really want to fucking make that happen in 2026. I have to make a debut. I don't give a fuck what it is. I have to make a debut for OVW 2026. I feel like that's long overdue. It should have been happening. And it's just I just want all this to happen in 2026 so I can look back in 2026 and be like, damn, I did all that shit. So that's my 2026, just flying all over the fucking world. I'm definitely gonna be flying more and just seeing where the chips may fall and just winging it shit, man. I'm just balls to the wall, fucking I'm diving head first, man. Just and seeing where the fuck I may land.
Head first. That doesn't mean you're going to be doing the Benoit headbutt. I hope, right? I think that move's still banned, isn't it?
Shit. Maybe it is. Maybe I mean, since people still do.
I don't know. Like I said, I see some moves are coming back, and well, like I know we were talking a little bit about that. About there's some things that you don't do anymore, but there's some things that are being welcomed back, and I always thought that was like one of the that was always one of the ones that was always the one move that just that one and the tombstone that just got me just shaking my head, going like I don't know how people get up from that shit. I just don't get it. But
Yeah.
what is your favorite pinning move?
Like pin.
Yeah, what's your finisher?
Oh, my finisher. I never had a. I don't have a name for it. I just call it the aim swings. Christopher Daniels. He like the lift. It's basically like a lifting pedigree. You spin and sit down with it. That I have multiple finishers. It's that I do the sit out choke slams sometimes as a finisher. I do the impaler DDT, the education. I do that. I think it's just those as of right now. So, like it just I change it up all the time. Like it's like when Gunther does his shit, he does like a different move every time for a finish. Like anything can put somebody down. I finish people with just a chokehold. Like anything can be a finish.
Chokehold is a very effective finisher. So is the tombstone. What if the one I think the one finisher that got me like it was just like insane to watch it was well we'll have to go to my name here to the APA, the clothesline from hell. Man, oh man, I don't know how many people could do that and not and workers could take that hit and still get up and walk out. I just think to me that was just like the absolutely craziest finisher I've seen.
Very crazy.
Um, all right, any last questions, last minute questions? See, Eric has mentioned James has come a long way. Recently debuted in Canada. Yep. So happy to see him going to the UK. Yeah, we'll definitely have to hike that up before you go. You'll have to come up and visit either me or Eric and talk about that. Thank you, Eric, for that kind comment. It says appreciation for you, James, and me too. And that will mark the end of this interview. I want to thank James Fury, professional wrestler and promoter. And thank you so much for giving me your time. I know you've had a very long day, so I won't keep you. And I want to thank the chat for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. We will be back here on Tuesday the 16th. Our good friend Barb will be here from Fear the Talking Head. She'll be here, and we'll be talking all things horror. Maybe a couple of shark movies, maybe, I don't know. Whatever we can come up with. And then on the 18th, we have author Wynn Scott Eckert will be here. I can't wait for that. Really can't wait for that. And then the last live show on this channel will be on the 21st, and the ISC Midnights will be talking about Haunter. 8 o'clock. Mary Wilson will be leading us into that, and it's an excellent movie and one I highly recommend. And that will be the end of my year. All right. Thanks so much for all coming out. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk at you soon. James, just stay there for one more second, and I'm going to say goodnight to the chat, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Peace.